Okay. Am I live? Am I live in both places? Okay. Yes, I think I am. I was having issues with the microphone and the computer wasn't reading it. So I hope this isn't going to be an issue throughout. Mercury retrograde. Hello, everyone. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Welcome to our second live training in our month-long challenge, Money Magic March. Hello. So happy to have you here, sister. So I was gonna say welcome to day 2 of our challenge, right? Because usually I run 5-day challenges or 3-day challenges. This is a month-long challenge, and if you are not registered already, you can head to my bio. You can still register. We basically, what I decided to do was to spread out the trainings throughout the month, and there are a lot of different freebies and other fun things happening. This is all in honor and celebration of a brand new era for the Manifesting Miracle Worker brand as we welcome a brand new experience, a new website, a new course portal, and magical new ways we can work together. I am so honored that you are all here. Now, on Facebook, it says 0 viewers again, and that's what happened last time. So, if you are here, I won't be able to look at your comments again. I'm really hoping we're just waiting for people to jump on. But if it's a glitch, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out because that's what happened last time. Hello, Instagram. Okay, so today we're going to be talking all about how you can build a safe container to hold higher frequencies of income, clients, and success. Because a lot of times, and I've been having so many conversations the last few weeks, especially as we've been focusing so much on money this month. I've been having a lot of conversations with the women in the challenge, with my clients, my membership students. I've been having conversations with women who are about to jump into my brand new one on one experience. And throughout all of these conversations, there always seems to be some common themes, always. And a big one, or a couple of big ones, one has been I was able to achieve a certain level of success and now I can't replicate it or now I can't duplicate it, right? So that becomes I'm unable to hold that energy. I'm unable to hold that frequency. Other issues come about when we feel like we're just not able to break through in our business. We're not able to break through income ceilings. We're not able to reach the people we want to reach. And all of these things can happen when we are trying to create this higher frequency, this new level based on a shaky foundation. We need a safe container to hold these things. We need a strong foundation to hold these things. I'm going to just check in on Facebook one more time. It says nobody is here, but I'm sure that there are people viewing it. This is a glitch. So if anyone is on Facebook and you want to hop on Instagram, I'm there too. And if not, I apologize. I can't see any comments or anything like that. I don't know why it would happen again. It happened last week as well. So anyway, this is our live number 2. We are doing this. If you're not already registered, this is for our month-long free challenge called Money Magic March, where we're talking about all things money and abundance. You can still join in my bio, and it's been such an interesting month for me, for our community. I have been working really hard to get this new platform up and going. So that's why I've kind of been a little, you haven't seen as many emails from me or even as many, videos and stuff. It's coming, and I want to launch everything before April 1st. So thank you everyone for hanging in there and being here. So a little bit of housekeeping first. And also, as you're joining in on Instagram, I'm getting a little, I guess, flustered because Facebook is having an issue again. There's a glitch, and there was a glitch last time. So as you're joining in on Instagram, let me know where you're joining in from. Let me know how you are liking the challenge so far. What has been coming up for you? Any breakthroughs? And for Facebook, you can also leave that on the replay, because of course there's always a replay as well. And oh, okay, now it says there's someone here. Interesting. Hello, Facebook. All right. Welcome. So yeah, we released a new workbook. If anyone didn't receive that, look in your email. And if you're not registered for the challenge, again, go to my bio. You can register for free. So today we're going to be talking all about creating that safe container to expand. York, Pennsylvania. Welcome, sister. You're not that far from me. I'm in New York, the new one. You're the original York. Well, the original one is in the UK. So, welcome, sister. So happy to have you here. And whether you're on the replay or on live, let me know if you've ever felt like, number one, you're unable to achieve that higher frequency of wealth and success, or you're unable to break through an income plateau, or you're just not able to break through what feels like this impossible wall to actually create success in your business, in your brand, in your career, right? Feeling stuck, right? Really, that all just goes down to feeling stuck. If you've been feeling stuck in your journey of creating more abundance and success, let me know in the comments. Hello, Sarah. So happy to have you here. I do see the comments. Thank you for being here, sister. So happy to see you. So this issue comes up. I mean, I don't even want to call it an issue, but it comes up a lot when, again, we don't have that safe foundation, that safe container, and we're not really coming back to ourselves. A lot of times, and especially my own journey, I was chasing after success. I studied manifestation and spirituality for 15 years. Like, I know how this stuff works, right? Like, I know we have to be detached from the outcome and we have to allow these things into our lives. But for years, especially about 5 whole years when I started my business, I felt like I couldn't break through. Like, there was this barrier. And a big reason for that is because I was chasing. I was chasing after success. I was chasing after abundance. I was obsessed. I have to make this work. This has to work. Why isn't it working? Right? And then I'm in that energy of obsession, which is like a really heavy energy to be in. So obviously my desired reality wasn't gonna come in that easily. But this is what happens a lot, especially if you are a, a woman with big goals, a person with big goals and big dreams, a high achiever, someone who wants to make a real lasting legacy for yourself, for your family, for the world. You're here because you know you're meant to do big things. And I always knew I was meant to do big things. Like, I wasn't with the small stuff. Like, it just never appealed to me, right? Like, I didn't want an office job. I didn't want to do things that didn't light me up. I'm also a manifesting generator, for those of you who love human design. And my fellow Manny-gens will really understand that I have to follow things that light me up. Now, also as a Manny-gen, I there are a lot of different things that light me up. So I want to do everything. But I wanted to do something that was also for me. I didn't want to answer to anybody else. That's another reason my career in finance didn't really work out, because it wasn't really mine. I wanted to do something for me. But for such a long time, almost 5 full years, well, 4 full years, when I started my business, it was really difficult for me to get any kind of forward motion. And I was chasing and I was chasing and I was chasing. And that whole entire time I was chasing, I really wasn't creating a solid foundation for myself. So a lot of times we see this shaky foundation, like what I was saying before. A lot of people have said this to me recently, and this is why I go back to this, that they were able to create a level of success and now they can't replicate it, or they weren't able to maintain it, right? That's holding a frequency, guys. This is all energy. The success is energy. The income is energy. The clients are energy. And when we feel like we can't hold that higher frequency of whatever type of energy it may be, things can fall out, right? That shaky foundation, the foundation gives out. So everything kind of just fizzles out. And then what happens? We feel bad about it. We feel like we did something wrong. There must be something wrong with me. I must not be meant for the work that I love. I can't do anything right, right? Like, all these different thoughts and feelings come up to the surface. And this is happening because the universe is presenting you with all of these stories that are already beneath the surface, right? Now they're coming up. They're being presented because you can't carry those things with you to that new level. When you think about the version of you who has clients coming in all the time, she receives DMs almost every single day. Her containers are completely full. She has no problem having people enroll all the time. People love her work. People are obsessed with her work. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a coach, a mentor, or not, whatever work you do, you are wildly successful. That version of you isn't sitting there wondering, why can't I make this work? What's wrong with me? I'm not enough. How come she could do it, but I can't do it? There must be something wrong with me, right? All of these things will come up to the surface because you're meant to clear them out in order to expand into that new frequency. And that is a really huge part of being able to hold this higher frequency of success, clients, income, fulfillment, love, whatever it is. It's all energy, guys. That's all it is. But able to hold those higher frequencies, not just call in the higher frequencies, because sometimes we can call those things in, right? We get a big cash injection month, or something goes right, amazingly right in our business. We sign 3 clients, and then all of a sudden we feel like we can't do it again. And then the fears pop up too of not being able to replicate it. So all of these things are going on within us instead of being in the energy of the version of us who knows she can hold these things because these things are meant for her. She flows in that energy. She allows things to unfold. And any hardships that she may face, she's not making them mean something about her. I say her because I'm her. Her, they, him, you know? Instead, she's taking these things as lessons. And that's why I always say to everybody, always ask yourself, what is coming up for my healing? What is coming up for my healing? Because this is all for you. When these things happen, it's not because things are working against you. It's not because you're not meant to do what you want to do. It's not because you're not meant to create the reality of your dreams. These things are coming up for you. It is all for you. It's for your healing. It's for your growth. It's for your expansion. And when you begin to really look at things from that light, that is acting in that higher frequency. That is being the version of you who holds these higher frequencies easily, because that's how she's thinking. Okay, what is coming up for my healing? How can I grow? What can I learn here? What can I clear out? What programming can I clear out more now that I am going to a bigger level, a different level? Because you can't take the same stories with you. If you were stuck in that story of I'm not enough, how come they make it look so easy but I can't find success? How come clients are always messaging her but not me? How come people are liking their photos on Instagram, right? We let this algorithm control us sometimes. That is me. That was me. That was a big thing for me, especially when I came back to my business last year. Felt like nobody was seeing my work and I felt like nobody was listening to me. But really, that was a story that my inner child was holding on to. Nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. You see how these things unfold? And in order to really get to that big next level that you really want, that you deserve, guys, that's the other thing. We keep ourselves stuck and playing small. We are literally able to create any reality we choose. Anything. We could have anything. But we keep ourselves stuck and playing small. You deserve the higher levels of income. You deserve the higher levels of wealth and success and love and fulfillment and anything you want. But so often we put conditions on things. Well, I have to do this first, or maybe I need to do this first, or I have to heal more first before I can get there. We put these conditions on things, and that's also keeping you stuck. That's not living in higher self energy. That's not living as your most abundant self. But that's okay. Right? That's okay. I feel like I'm yelling at you. That's what I do sometimes. It's okay, because this is how we learn and this is how we grow. So another big thing that comes up is, feeling like you're stuck at an income plateau, feeling like your business isn't growing the way you want it to, right? That's another, like, I'm stuck. It's because there is something going on that you have to really look at in order to expand so that you can hold those higher levels. Again, maybe you are keeping yourself stuck and playing small. Think about that. Where am I keeping myself stuck and playing small? Maybe, do I keep intending for just one client this month? Please, just one client. Instead of like really focusing on what you really want and dreaming bigger. There's also a lot of energy stuff that's at play. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But sometimes, bringing the awareness to this stuff. Am I keeping myself stuck? Am I not actually like going after what I really want? Put yourself in your higher self's shoes. Does she put conditions on things? No. She knows she's worthy of whatever she wants, especially when it is for the good of herself and the good of everyone involved. And when you're doing beautiful work in this world that helps others, beautiful work that you love, beautiful work that is from your mission, from the mission in your heart, you are meant for that. There's no way that you're not. A lot of times we'll convince ourselves we aren't meant to do these big, big things that we want to do. And that's just another story that's coming up, another story that is playing out because you can't take it with you to that new level. You just can't. Now, when I say that too, okay, so sometimes, and this happens, and it's very common, and it's totally normal. I hate the word normal, but sometimes when you do expand into a new level, the old story will come up again. Okay, so for instance, I thought that I had healed almost a decade of substance abuse problems and addiction. And then when I really opened myself up to my deep, deep healing journey a few years ago, all of a sudden I was hit with severe alcohol addiction, like dependency. And to me, I was like, but wait, I worked through this stuff. I was supposed to heal this stuff already. Why is this coming up again? You know, and I did shame myself for it. Like, oh, I did the work around this. But the thing is that when you open yourself up to these deeper levels, it's going to all come out, number one, and that's okay. And number two, sometimes you're presented with the same story at a new level because you're just meant to look at it again. Maybe you're meant to look at it in a different light. Maybe you're meant to look at, you know, earlier on, maybe you looked at this story in the light of your inner child. Maybe now it's time to look at it from your inner teenager. Or maybe some ancestral wounds you need to look at. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong if a story comes up again at a new level. But when these things are coming up and you feel like it's impossible to reach that level of incoming clients and success and fulfillment that you really want, they're coming up because you're meant to expand. You're meant to look at these things. And the work that I do is so rooted in embodiment. Because when we are embodied in the energy of the version of ourselves that we wish to be, we realize the different things that we do need to clear out. You know, well, we don't really need to do anything, but the things that we're being called to clear out, right? So when we really think about our future self, who has amazing clients and she's doing beautiful work in the world and she's writing her book and she's getting published and like all these awesome things are happening for her, she's not sitting here obsessing over, well, why can't it happen for me? What am I doing wrong? Why can't I reach that next level? There must be something wrong with me. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Really, everything almost comes down to that. I'm not enough. Why aren't I enough? And in order to really look at those things, I would encourage you to watch our first video from this series because we talked all about healing your relationship with money and we did a lot of inner child work with that. I'm just checking in on Facebook. I do see you guys this time. Okay, just making sure. So, because there was a glitch last time. So another thing that can come up, these are just wounds that come up when we're trying to expand into those higher levels of freedom and abundance and success and clients. Another thing that can come up is if you feel uninspired, disconnected from your purpose. You're not really sure what to do next. You're second guessing yourself. Like you're second guessing your content, you're second guessing your messaging, you're second guessing every email you send out, you know, and I say all these things because I've been there. Every single thing that I'm throwing at you right now is somewhere that I have been personally. I understand this deeply. So you may be feeling disconnected. You may be even feeling disconnected because you're on the verge of burnout or you are burnt out. You're operating from that wounded masculine space, that hustle, hustle, hustle energy, that I need to prove myself energy. Maybe prove myself to others or prove myself to myself, right? The more I work, the more I could prove it. So if I can get to that next level, I could prove it. That means I'm successful. That means there's something that I'm doing something right. But then we don't get there. And then we make it mean something about us. And, you know, another one, being completely stuck in your business. That's a huge one. I kind of spoke about that already. That was me for 4 years. I was working with, okay, I'm going to go into this a little more in a second, but like I was working with a lot of unaligned clients. Some people who had like no idea why they signed up for a container or why they signed up for a session with me. And when I wasn't working with the unaligned clients, I wasn't working with any clients at all. It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. And, you know, there were a lot of things at play there. Sometimes I would say to myself, like, well, what is it? What's that one thing? It must be one thing, right? Like when I could tweak that one thing, then I'm going to get to the level of abundance that I want. Then I'm going to get to the level of business success that I want. Success in life. right? Fulfillment, whatever it may be. But it was never a one thing. It never is a one thing. And when I really look back on my journey, I see how everything kind of played out. It was all the healing work, it was the energy work, it was the embodiment work, it was taking aligned strategy, working with mentors. It was a lot of different things. But when I felt like I couldn't move, I couldn't get past that spot of working with unaligned clients, no clients at all, chasing after success, questioning my purpose. Am I really meant to do this? I must not be meant to do this. This is not for me. Obviously, it would have worked by now, right? It's not easy, guys. The entrepreneurial journey is not always easy. The journey of manifesting the life of your dreams is not always easy. And you're going to be tested along the way. I always try to be gentle with how I say that because I don't believe the universe tests us. The universe is there for everything to support you and everything you desire. But these tests will come to you in the form of those low vibrational stories, the old programming, the traumas that continue playing out. These are the tests. And if you really want to expand in your divine power, right? Being an entrepreneur is your healing journey. And manifesting the life of your dreams is your healing journey. It's all a journey and coming back to your divine self, your divine truth. And that's deep, guys. That is deep work. So that means it's not going to always be easy. It can. We could also create the story that everything is easy. But at the same time, if it was easy, would you really learn and grow? Would it really be worth it? Right? This is the whole journey that we have to look at, the whole journey. So when I was in that space of feeling like nothing that I was doing was working, I really had to go deep and start looking within myself. And at the time, number one, when I was attracting unaligned clients, it was also because I was afraid to be seen on a bigger level. I was afraid deep down. I was bullied in high school, especially when I allowed myself to be seen and I expressed myself with pink hair. I was hurt from that. Like I was pushed down for that. I created a story that said it wasn't safe to be seen. And there were other stories too that added up to that, but in a way I didn't feel safe to really express myself even in my business. I was really holding out on what I really wanted to teach and the people that I really wanted to support. And because of that, I was manifesting a lot of unaligned clients and experiences. It was extremely difficult to fill my programs. I had this story last time on our last live. I launched my signature program twice and nobody enrolled. And I made it mean something about me. It was like I couldn't create that success no matter what I did. And I was chasing after it. I was obsessed. Chasing after it. There must be something wrong with me. Every single story came up to the surface. Every single story of my inner child that she's not enough, she's not worthy, she must do everything wrong, I must do everything wrong, nothing I do is right. It all came up to the surface. And at the time, at first, I really didn't want to look at that stuff. I just wanted to keep telling myself, you must be doing something wrong. There must be something wrong with me. But instead, I had to start going deeper. And then there's another thing that happens where maybe you are creating the financial abundance that you really want and you feel so supported by money and you have a beautiful relationship with money and success, but you feel like the other areas of your life are kind of falling apart. Maybe not all of them, but you feel like it's not, like this holistic view of your whole entire life. It's like everything else is not really working, but you are working really hard. You might even be on the verge of burnout too. And these things happen because we don't have that solid foundation. So it's really hard to hold these higher frequencies in different ways when we're operating from a shaky foundation. And let's check in on Facebook. How are you guys? Hello, Instagram. I'm going to take a sip of water too. Welcome to day 2. Training number 2. It's not really day 2. Okay. So, did I just mess up the camera? No. Okay. So when I was manifesting unaligned clients and I wasn't able to fill my programs and I had 2 failed back-to-back launches, I was not able to hold a higher frequency of wealth and success. Number 1, I didn't think I was worthy enough of doing that. Number 2, in my case, this isn't everybody's case, I kind of had to build my way up to it. So something I did in between was I launched my membership program, because my membership program is a lower level container, and I had to learn how to build myself up to those higher frequencies. So in my lower level membership container, I started working with women, right? Like being in my zone, doing what I do, because for a while it was so sporadic. I wasn't really working with people. I was working with maybe one unaligned client. I keep saying that. I feel like that sounds mean. One client who wasn't one unaligned client. Let's keep it at that. And in maybe like a one-off session, and then I would go months without working with anybody. And then I launched my signature program, and nobody bought it. You know, like it was just like one thing after another. So instead, I tried to kind of almost like regulate my nervous system in a way to hold that higher frequency. We're going to get into nervous system regulation in a minute because it's really important for all of this. But I had to build my way up to that higher frequency. So I got an idea. I wanted to do a membership. I wanted to do one for a while. And it turned into the most beautiful experience with the most beautiful women in this container. And I had to, really it taught me how to build my way up to hold that higher frequency. And another big thing is when all of this was happening, I was not paying attention to me. So I'm chasing after success, chasing after success. Guys, if you want to hold a higher level, a higher frequency of income and clients and success, you are going to have to really, really come back to you. Think about your future self. She puts herself first. And when we're chasing after these things, we're not putting ourselves first. For me, even, I was barely sleeping. I was trying to work so hard because in my mind, I was thinking, wounded masculine. If I work hard or the harder I work, the more income I will have, the better, the more clients I will serve, the more successful I will become. But none of that was true because it wasn't happening. I was just burnt out and I was causing a disconnect between me and my higher self. Just this big disconnect. I was always tired. Nothing was working. I feel stuck, right? And it just continued on. Building that strong, solid foundation for higher frequency means that you are taking care of yourself. You're putting yourself first. You're going into your spiritual practice before anything else, if that's what you want to do, right? You're meditating. Something I had to really incorporate into my day, especially as I reach higher levels in my business. This whole entire community has been expanding at a rapid rate. And even like 6 months ago when I was on a live, I was saying that like this whole community has been expanding. It's continuing to expand, guys, like exponentially expanding. And I had to learn how to hold those higher levels, those higher energetic frequencies. And a big way that I had to do that was to come back to myself and learn how to ground throughout the day. I meditate throughout the day, even if it's like 5 minutes. If I feel myself getting like, ugh, take a break and meditate. I had to learn how to put myself first. And in order to do that, you really got to put yourself in your future self's shoes. How does she take care of herself? How does she set boundaries? That's a big one. Another thing that was happening for me back then, I felt like the people that were coming into my business were just there for the free offers. And at a time when I first really started my business, there was a time where I could not charge for my work because I was still working in finance. So I was licensed by FINRA, I was a licensed financial advisor, and because of that, I couldn't charge for my business that I was building. Really, it was just kind of like an inspirational Instagram page at that time. So at that time, I started building my email list and I started building my Instagram, and I offered freebies and free workbooks and a lot of the same stuff I do today. But I am doing all of those things from a different energetic frequency today, right? Like I'm doing it to really support people and from the space of knowing that I am supported by money and I continue to expand and the business continues to expand. But back then I was in this space of, well, I can't charge for the work that I do. It's not right to charge for the work that I do. Should I charge for the work that I do? I'm a spiritual mentor. Maybe it's wrong to charge for the work that I do. Right? And like that didn't all come from being a licensed financial advisor, but some of it did. And I carried that with me. So what I found was a lot of people would sign up for all of these things, and I just was not creating any income from anything, right? Like I'm in business. Then I felt like, oh, well, people don't value what I have to offer. Nobody values what I have to offer. That was a big story that came up. And then another one was nobody listens to me. Nobody pays attention to me when I share what I want to share. And this was all because had to look within myself. I felt like in some way, shape, or form that I was unworthy. In some way, shape, or form, I felt like the work that I was doing wasn't potent enough and powerful enough, even though it was. But these were all different stories that were playing out that prohibited me from really reaching those higher levels. You need to have a solid foundation to hold higher frequencies. It's just how that works. So when that foundation gives out and we feel like we can't hold on to the abundance that we created, or we can't replicate the abundance that we created, you really got to look within and ask yourself what is going on within. You could do all the strategy in the world, guys. You could do all the mindset work in the world. You could even do all the healing in the world, right? If you're not showing up for yourself, and if you're not acting and giving yourself what you want to receive from others, it's just not gonna work. Because the version of you who is flowing in alignment and abundance and success and deep fulfillment, she shows up for herself every single day. She puts herself first. She knows that she's the shit. She knows her work is powerful. She knows she's supported by money. She flows in higher self frequency. That's the frequency of abundance. And the more and more you do that work, and the more and more you take care of yourself, the more you're going to align with that frequency. So I also had to give myself space to rest and process. Guys, healing takes time. Building a business takes time. Reaching your next level of income and success takes time, but we always want it now. I want it now. I need it now. How come it's not happening now, now, now? You know, sometimes it's true that like the work that you're doing, the mindset work, the healing work, even the strategy in your business, it is working. You're just not giving it a chance to kind of get going. And instead, what's happening, like for me, for instance, I wasn't resting at all, right? Rest is a huge, huge way that we allow things to take hold. Rest is how we reprogram our subconscious. Rest is how we heal through the body. It's how we release energies. It's how we alchemize, okay? But when we're not doing that, we're not allowing the process to take hold, and therefore we can't get into that higher level frequency. And then in the meantime, while all this is happening and everything is kind of working behind the scenes, you're telling yourself it's not working. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it here yet? What am I doing wrong? It must be me. Instead of kind of just like, giving yourself space. This is also like manifestation 101. Again, I studied spirituality manifestation for 15 years. It wasn't until I started a business 4 years ago that I really became an expert in all of this, because I was forced to face it myself. The universe was saying, oh, you want to be an expert in manifestation? Here's your lessons. They're going to be tough. That's your initiation. And it happens a lot. It happens for coaches and mentors. If you're a healing mentor and you're being faced with your own deep healing, right? That's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're expanding. If you're a financial mentor, an abundance mentor, and you feel like, your abundance or finance situation is out of whack, it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because you are expanding. Or maybe you are ready to really lead from your purpose and your job isn't working out, or you're feeling like it's not in alignment at all with where you want to be, and everything is falling down around you, and you're fighting with your coworkers or whatever it may be. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're expanding, and the hard lessons will come to help you grow, to help you really grow into who you're meant to be. And this happens a lot when we choose to expand. Okay? The old stories will come up to the surface. Also, guys, give your inner child space too. Like, we did all of that. I'm not really going to get much into that today because we did that on the first live. By the way, you could go watch the replay. It was all about healing your relationship with money. But listen to what's coming up, right? And kind of go back to your childhood. What are the same stories that are coming up? Now, another thing, in order to expand into these higher frequencies, I was saying this a little bit before, nervous system regulation is key. Okay, so when I really wanted to expand into that higher frequency of wealth last year, and I started my signature program and nobody joins, well, subconsciously I was scared shitless, because I couldn't even imagine, this was subconsciously, not consciously, I couldn't imagine holding that space. Like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do this. What if I do it wrong? What if I can't help them transform? What if they don't like it? What if this? What if that? I'm not good enough. That, all of that playing out in my subconscious over and over and over and over. That is scary. That is scary. So when that shit happens, ego comes in and says, nope, nope. So now you have these stories that are playing out that are saying, oh, I can't do this. This isn't good. I'm not worthy. No one joined yet. No one signed up yet. That means no one's going to do it. The stories will continue to play out. And then all of a sudden, you're kind of repelling your ideal reality because you're living out those stories, right? Like attracts like. It's just this whole entire cycle that can happen. That's why it's really important to get honest with yourself. Really get honest with yourself. How do you feel safe in your body to hold a higher frequency of wealth? And if not, that's okay. What do you have to work on? What do you have to clear out? How can you make yourself feel more worthy? And that goes back to that self-care and taking care of yourself too, guys. Sometimes it sounds so repetitive, but that's really what it all comes back to, is you taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, connecting with that future version of you who has just a never-ending stream of clients, supported by money. She continuously expands in income. She is going on beautiful healing retreats, and she has the most amazing group of friends, and everyone is growing together. That version of you really takes care of herself. She has a certain routine. She has a certain rhythm. And when the stories do come up, she recognizes them for what they are. She doesn't wallow in her unworthiness. Well, you can wallow a little bit, of course you can. But there's going to come a point where you got to snap yourself out of it. So for me, I was wallowing for a very long time. And the more and more I wallowed, the more and more I created this reality that said I wasn't worthy of holding that higher frequency of wealth. I wasn't worthy of holding a higher frequency of more clients, right? Because again, all of these things, it's just energy. More clients is energy. More wealth is energy. It's just on a higher level. So you need to have that strong foundation. Otherwise, it's going to give out. And it all comes back to you. Just checking in on Facebook. Any questions, guys? Any questions on Facebook? It's kind of a weird time. I decided to break it up. The next one is going to be at 1. No, the next one's going to be at 6 o'clock again. That's going to be on Friday. I'll get to that in a minute, though. And if you're on the replay, let me know if this is resonating with you, where you feel like, number one, the ego just keeps getting so loud. I'm not going to make it. I can't do it. There's something wrong with me, right? Like all of those things come up as a way to keep us safe, right? We always say that the ego is there to keep us safe because it's like a shock to your system. Holding those higher frequencies, those higher energies can be really scary, especially if you don't have a solid self-care routine in place, especially if you're not taking care of yourself, especially if you're not sleeping, especially if you're not really doing things for you. Another thing is, when I was chasing after abundance, chasing after success, chasing, I forgot why I was doing all of this to begin with. That's really important, guys. You got to come back to why you're doing this. And in the space of being able to expand into that higher frequency, that means that you're in a space of detachment, right? Now, this is what I was going to say before. So this is like manifestation 101. We need to be detached from the outcome, right? When we're detached from the outcome, that means everything just kind of flows on in. It's easy, it's amazing, it's good, but it's really hard to be detached from the outcome when we're trying to create that next level of success or that next level of abundance, or we want to hold space for more clients, and we're just thinking about it and we're obsessing over it, like how I was obsessing over it. That's not detaching from the outcome. That's pushing it further and further away. That's putting that heavy energy into it. So in order to detach from the outcome, A, come back to yourself, and B, sometimes you really got to forget about it. Like, walk away. Take a day or a weekend or a whole entire week off. Your business will be there. People will be there. You know, sometimes we really have to put our minds on something else and remember why we're doing this. Yes, we're doing this so that we can have fun and be creative and express ourselves. Yes, we're doing this so that we can have, hold space for others and connect. But we're also doing it to create income, right? And we want more income so that we can enjoy our lives. But we're not enjoying our lives when we're obsessing over the outcome of what we want. When you are in the space, in the energy of your future self who already has these things, everything will fall into place. It just happens. But sometimes we're going to push it off and push it off because we don't see it yet. So if we don't see it yet, then we make it mean something about us. And then it just kind of delays the process. But in that time of making it mean something about us, that's your chance to grow. That is your chance to learn. That is your chance to expand. And let's say, okay, even if you're just, I say this all the time, whether you're in business or in the business of creating the life of your dreams, you are going to be hit with hard lessons sometimes. And it's important to recognize them for what they are. Because your future self, who really takes care of herself, who loves herself, who is in that beautiful next level, she looks at these things as opportunities to grow. She's not making it mean something about her. Like the way I made two launches back to back with no enrollments mean something about me. Must be something wrong with me. Nobody wants to learn from me. I'm not good at what I do. You know, like it sounds silly now, but all of these things kept coming up to the surface because I had to look at them. My next level self was able to hold that higher level, that higher energetic frequency, wasn't thinking about these things. Maybe, but if they did come up, she knew how to move through them. She knew how to move through them. Yeah, nervous system regulation. That's what I was getting into. So I take breaks all day long to meditate, all day long, okay? Because that's another way that I train myself and my subconscious, my body, to feel safe, to hold more energy. That's what it is. Higher levels of energy, higher frequencies. So I meditate all day. I take breaks. I journal. I journal through a lot of stuff, guys. If things come up to the surface, I journal it out. But another thing that has been coming up for me within the last few weeks, especially as we are expanding and growing and the new website and course platform is coming out, a lot of inner child work has come to the surface for me. A lot of stories of I'm not enough. I'm going to talk about that in one of my posts this week. But it's been really loud, like really loud. And I've had to really stop, take out my journal, ask myself, like kind of work through it, really work through it. But also I think that this is the first time I really learned how to give myself space. That's what I was saying before. We need to let the process unfold. Yes, we want everything now, 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 now. But when we are pushing and shoving and trying to get that next level of reality to happen now, 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 we're just pushing it further away. Because it's not here yet. It's not here yet. Now. What am I doing wrong? How am I doing this wrong? Instead of just surrendering, letting the things that come up to the surface, letting them come up, learning through them, growing through them, and letting the process unfold. I'm not saying it's going to take a long time, but I can guarantee you that a big reason why it took me almost 4 years to see success in my business is because I was in those stories for 4 years. I continuously played out those stories for 4 years. And being in those stories meant that I felt like it wasn't safe to hold those higher frequencies. Do your nervous system regulation. Ask yourself what you need every day, right? Like really come back to yourself each and every day. Let the process unfold. Ask yourself how you could be more gentle with yourself. How can you, and also how are we meant to hold space, or how can we hold space for others when we are not holding space for ourselves? A lot of times too, we feel like nobody's listening to us on social media. That was a big one for me, especially last year. Like huge. No one's listening to me. No one's listening to me. Well, I wasn't listening to myself. I wasn't listening to myself when I needed to rest. I wasn't listening to myself when I wanted to go out and play and have fun, right? And like enjoy life instead of just obsessing over success and abundance and how I'm going to get there and how I'm going to reach that next level. I had to start listening to myself. So when we talk about that strong foundation and building that strong foundation, it really, really comes back to that. Can you hold those higher frequencies? What does that feel like in your body? I think that, I say this because when I learned manifestation and I really started studying all this stuff 15 years ago, I learned it from a space of doing a lot of mindset work and I guess some energy work, but I really ignored the body. I think maybe it was like the teachings that I learned or whatever it was. But guys, everything literally happens in this, like your vessel, like everything. So when you're really trying to expand, number one, ask yourself, what does it feel like in my body? Does it feel like, well, I really want this, but what if I'm not able to do it? What if I can't hold space for others? What if they don't like this? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not able to do this, right? Like a little bit of fear or a lot of bit of fear coming up. Feel it. Feel it in the body. It wants you to give it a voice. That's how we process these things. And then really feel how your future self feels in the body. Got to anchor back into that. But by doing all this, you really have to get real with yourself and be really honest with yourself. Can you hold those higher frequencies? Okay, so, oh, and then another thing before we get into the homework. I also had to start defining what I really wanted. I kind of said that already. But for example, when I was working with the unaligned clients, that was my opportunity to start defining who I really wanted to work with, the type of women I really wanted to work with. And usually, it's a past version of you. It's a past version of yourself. You might have different types of clients. You might not be a coach like me. But even so, maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a writer. Define the type of people who are moved by your work. Who do you really want to serve? Start to really connect with that energy, especially the energies at the higher level. What are they like? So for me, I was kind of holding myself back for a while in this complaining about everything phase. And instead of really taking this as an opportunity to define what I really wanted, who do I really want to serve? What kind of work do I really want to do? What kind of programs do I really want to do? Or maybe I don't want to do program. Maybe you don't want to do programs, Like, what do you really want? Sometimes, especially in the online space, it gets so loud and we're told to do a million things. You got to do this. Oh, you want more clients, you have to do this. You want aligned clients, you got to do this. This is the strategy you need to do. This is what, like it's just so freaking loud. Sometimes we got to just cut it all out. Come back to us. Define what you want. What does that higher level look like without limitation? We stop ourselves from really dreaming bigger. You are divine. You are allowed to be, do, and have whatever you want. You can literally create whatever you want. Would your higher self stop herself? Think of it like that. And also sometimes separate yourself, separate your divine self from your human self, and think of it like that. Well, what would my higher self say right now? Would she really be stopping herself from dreaming bigger? How would she be taking care of herself? Would she really be working all day long and on the verge of burnout instead of listening to herself and taking care of herself? Ask yourself these things. All right, so we're going to get into homework, checking in on Facebook again, homework, soul work, soul inquiries, inner work. I think Sarah said inner work. So what I want you to sit with are these questions. We already went over them, but basically, where have you been selling yourself short? That's number one. This is going to be all when I send out the replay. Guys, if you are watching this and you're not signed up for our free challenge, it's called Money Magic March. You could just go to my bio and you could still sign up. But basically, I want you to sit with these questions. Number one, where have you been selling yourself short? Where have you been selling yourself short, not allowing yourself to dream bigger? Okay. Number two, where are you feeling like it's impossible to expand into higher frequencies and higher levels? Do you feel like it's impossible to break through an income ceiling or an income plateau? Do you feel like it's impossible to work with a higher level of client? Do you feel like it's impossible to even start your business or leave your job or whatever it may be? Where are you feeling that feeling of impossibility right now? Where does it feel impossible? It's never impossible, okay? But we got to bring awareness to this stuff, guys. Where are you feeling like it's impossible to expand? And what do you need to clear out so that you can expand? When you think about expanding into that higher frequency, more clients, higher level clients, doing something different with your work. Maybe you want to do in-person retreats instead of just courses and programs, or maybe you want to start your business or start your podcast, right? Think about your big next level expansion. What's coming up to the surface? What do you have to clear out? Just what comes up when you think of that? Really sit with this stuff. What comes up? Oh, well, I feel like I won't be able to, if it's an in-person container, I won't be able to fill it the way that I do online, right? That comes up. Okay. So maybe you're feeling like you're not worthy to hold that higher level, or you're not worthy of your dreams, or you're holding yourself back, right? Just ask yourself simply, what's coming up? And the other thing is, start defining what you really want, okay? Start defining who you really want to serve. Start defining the type of income you really want. Start defining what success is going to look like for you on the other side. And that doesn't just mean in your business or your career. A successful life means I have more time to travel, right? Successful life means I have more time to go to heavy metal shows, right? This is my successful life. Or maybe just like sit down and watch sci-fi all the time. That's my idea of success. But like really think about it for you. Again, the online space is so noisy. And a lot of times, we try to replicate what we see, and we do it in such a way that we have expanders, right? Like our expander could be a person that really inspires us, and we want to kind of get to that level. And it's amazing to have expanders, but we got to really zone into us, our unique self, our unique mission, our unique gifts that we're here to share with the world. So we lose a lot of that along the way. Sometimes it's easier to just tune out all of that noise. So really define, what does that big next level look like? Okay? Any questions? Anybody? Anyone on Facebook? I don't know if anyone is still here on Facebook, but I'm going to be sending everything out in the homework. If you are not registered for Money Magic March, go to my bio. We're doing this for another 2 weeks until the end of March. And everything that we spoke about today is going to be in my newest one-on-one container, the Wealth Frequency Portal. We're beginning on April 1st, okay? I've been having beautiful conversations. So many amazing souls. I'm so excited about this container. In the portal, we're diving into everything that we spoke about today, how to really create that safe container so you can expand into higher frequencies of wealth, success, more clients. It's an 8-week container that's really going to stretch you into your big next level expansion for your life and business. And we're going to go deep into the healing, energy, and embodiment work, of course, but also aligned strategy and systems for your business, like magnetic funnels, mastering your message, and also, of course, clearing out all that low vibrational programming so you could be seen at a higher level and really, really unleash those gifts. Guys, you are meant to do everything you want and more. You have those dreams for a reason. It's all coming down from your higher self. That's another thing. Your higher self is always guiding you towards your purpose. Like, that is her job. That's what she does. So your higher self can't be wrong, okay? Stop selling yourself short. I'm going to send out everything in a few minutes with the replay, the homework questions. And, oh, yes, we begin April 1st in the portal. If you're interested, DM me. DM me on Instagram with the word portal. If you don't really use Instagram, send me an email. You can reply to any of the emails for the challenge. So I will send you all the details. I'm really excited, really, really excited to dive in. So many amazing things are happening, guys, in this community. And I'm so honored that you're here. Everything that I've scripted, everything I have visualized is coming true. And I want all of you to have the same. You are meant for everything you want and more, okay? Our next freebie is dropping this week in the free challenge in Money Magic March, so keep an eye out for that. And then our next training is going to be on Friday. Is going to be on Thursday, okay? Our next training is going to be this Thursday, the 21st. I had it at 6 p.m. originally, but I feel like this time is not great for many people, so maybe we'll change that to 1 p.m. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, yes, this coming Thursday, the 21st, we're going to change it to 1 p.m. live on Instagram and Facebook, as per usual. I love you guys so, so much. Any questions, you can leave them on the replay in the comments. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon. I'll see you on Thursday at 1, not at 6. I love you. Bye, guys. And Facebook, I love you.